built this very interesting organization, this company, where he has a health tech fund which over the last 10 years has invested about $200 million into what is now a $1 billion portfolio. And when you talk about what the destination experience is really working to achieve, especially from a diaspora standpoint, in terms of creating a platform that is able to reattract some of these individuals who have left and done considerably well and now start to look for something new. They don't have the same lens when they look on Jamaica. We think we fit right in. But then also, as a supplement to everything that David said on the Fourth Industrial Revolution just now, I think Kingsley is in a very, very unique space when it comes to health technology and all the incredible things that are happening in that world right now. So this next presentation is dubbed Achieving the Impossible. I actually came up with this before asking Kingsley to do it. And as we were discussing the agenda, we were like, well, there's no better fit, because here's someone who really embodies living in this new multidimensional world and operating in just an incredibly diverse set of spaces and seemingly managing them incredibly well. So without further ado, Kingsley.
So I think about the time when I was really young in Buffet and I would finish playing football, or on a day where I didn't have a lot to do, and I would run up to the top of this hill overlooking the park. And I would look out at the ocean and see the horizon. I see these ships going over the horizon and wondered, who's on that ship? What are their lives like? And I would think they'd be going to the United States. I'm like, how do I get there? And I used to think about all kinds of ways to do that. So I would say to that young Kingsley Chin sitting there looking at those ships and dreaming, start to dream about how do you envision yourself achieving your dream. And that whatever you're dreaming now, you're going to have other dreams. So this one dream shouldn't be the end of it. You should start dreaming as to what's bigger. Once you've made it over the horizon, what do you want to do when you get there? And so I am still feeling like that kid still sitting on that mountain today, because I'm just looking at different horizons. I'm looking at different boats. I am not in Buffet anymore. I'm in Massachusetts, in Boston, in the company KICVentures, and we're always looking at the next horizon. What's next? How do I keep being successful? How do I keep being relevant? How much can I do? Am I maxed out? Can I redefine myself? I am still sitting on a hill every day, looking at the horizon, looking at the ships going over there, and wondering if they can do it, I should be able to do it. I'm going to go after that.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy to be here, and I thank Kirk, and I thank David. They made sure I got here. Just got in from Peru yesterday, missed my connection, so I had to take the first flight out. And I have to thank the custom agents, because Peru is not on one of the lists with malaria, otherwise I probably wouldn't make it here. So I went through no problem. I'm really, really excited to be here. I used to dream of, coming to Kingston to play on that level. I kind of bypassed it and went straight to the US. So I still need to prove myself here in Kingston among you guys. I really feel that way. So this is an interesting topic. I really enjoyed working on this talk. It's something that Kurt really felt strongly about. I have so many canned talks that I already have ready to go, and I'm so busy. And he said, I really want you to talk about being limitless. And so I'm going to go through this with you, and I think it's a really good topic. So here are the table of contents, right? You can see, what does it mean to be limitless? We're going to define that, see if you're living your life like this already. If not, I'm going to give you a definition that I want you to take with you. The other is, I'm going to show you why being limitless is the game changer in your life. It really is. And the next is, I want to help you with some of the keys to what I use to get myself to be in that zone of being limitless. And the next is, it's important that you realize that you have a mortality. You're not going to be here forever. So how do you become limitless through others? That's also part of the program. And then I'll quickly go through my limitless journey, I call it, because Kirk really wanted me to talk about that. He already mentioned some of it. You can always find a Chinese proverb that's profound, right? So make use of that one. But here's the deal, limitless. Here's a definition that I found: without end, limit, or boundary. And then I came up with my own synonyms. What I considered in my mind the definition that I hold on to. Unconstrained, changing, imagination, and future. Each one of those 4 words, when I use those, I feel unlimited. You can't think about limitless without understanding that the planet we live in and this building is such a speck compared to what's out there, right? This galaxy, compared to our Milky Way galaxy, just like huge. Do we truly believe that there's no other life form out there that's intelligent? I can't believe that. So I have to be humble and think, what is it I can do to expand my possibilities, right? Because I just don't think we're using enough of our abilities. So I want to be limitless, right? You look at a country, you look at a city like, you look at Dubai, and they've decided to experiment, right? And they're trying anything. Now they have the tallest building. Just amazing stuff. To me, that's an example of limitless. People who are like, you know, what is possible? We're going to go beyond that. We're going to do it. I look at nature. Try to always look at nature to see ways you can learn things. This is a tree that wants to get above the canopy. What do? You have to come up with a strategy. Broaden the roots, drive to the top, and just don't stop. It didn't just barely made it above the top. It's gonna go as high as it possibly can. That to me is an example I can take. I love salmon. It's good for you. But I look at salmon. They find a way back to that river, and they're going to find a way to the top, and they're going to spawn and die. That's just incredible. How did they leap? How did they just make it past all these obstacles? If they can do it, what are we doing? This used to be me. I used to study to a kerosene lamp in Buff Bay. Limitless. Every kid thinks limitless. They don't have limitations. They kind of learn that over time, fortunately. Some of us never learn, right? My mom used to tell me that. You'll never learn. Actually, that was a good thing, Mom. So let's look at some examples. He used to be a kid too. Now, he's the richest man in the world. Game changing. Game changing. He's another great person, Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're going to be right. So think you can. But look what he did. He didn't just make a faster buggy, a horse buggy. He changed the game. He was an engineer, changed it completely. Andrew Carnegie, another person I admire a lot. He was given the task by his mentor to build a bridge across the St. Louis River. It's never been done with steel. No one had ever made steel on that scale. He found a way. Industrial Revolution. How about these two brothers from Ohio? Determined every summer to go into the Outer Banks and try to fly. Look at that. Did they envision the Concorde? No, but there's something that they said to themselves, we're going to do it. We're going to try and find a way to fly. Look at that. I flew here this morning on JetBlue. They didn't envision TV. That was important. Here's another, someone just talked about the fourth industrial revolution. This is it. Nanotechnology is going to make AI everything possible. He came up with the rule. Every year, you can double how many transistors. Now, I'm an electrical engineer. Transistor, you need that. Those are your switches. They store the information. In 1972, I think Intel was started in 1965. 1972, 2,300 transistors. Last year, 7.2 billion. Think about that. Think about the possibility at the nano level. So here are the keys I put together for you to be limitless. Every one of you in here should be limitless. Desire. You need that. You need the desire. You have to say, I want to. I can. You have to make that decision. You have to be fearless. You can't worry about failing. You can't worry about that. It's just, what is it you want to do? And you're going to have to find a way to use KIC. Those are the 3 letters I've used to get to where I am. You need the knowledge. You can't do it without the knowledge. The closest I came to having a father is Lloyd Chin. Anyone who's here from Meadowbrook knows Bungie. He used to say, Kingsley, what's dangerous is you get a little bit of knowledge and you act like you know it all. So I learned to listen early from him. But remember KIC and take it with you. You need the knowledge so you can come up with initiatives and develop your strategies. Are you going to get those initiatives accomplished and close out on them? But I'm going to introduce 3 new letters I've been playing with lately that I realize people need more tangible things than just my KIC. So I'm going to tell you what those 3 letters are. Here's another person I admire. If you were born poor, it's not your mistake. But if you have kids and they're poor, it's yours. You got to take responsibility for that. Okay? So I'm going to give you 7 M's of how you can get your desire. And I released this video on YouTube. Menu. Life is a menu of experiences. You have to be at the buffet line, not sitting in the corner eating crackers and complaining. It's an experience. I was just in Lima, flew to Trujillo. The food is amazing. The people are amazing. I need to work on my Spanish. David, maybe next time I take you with me. But that kind of experience, unbelievable. I met this guy on the plane, and he took me to his private club, the Terrazas, in Lima, by the water. Jamaican kid sitting there with him having chifa. It's a Chinese food. I'm like, how do you get here? Desire to have a menu of experiences. Not every experience takes money, but you have to say, I want to live the fullest. Memorable. He's going to be memorable forever. Albert Einstein. You say, I want to be memorable, you have to start working on that. What are you going to do that's memorable? Memorable to the people you meet. Be a nice person. Just be memorable. Sitting right there is Ron McKay. We met about 10 years ago when I was at UPenn. Memorable. He and I. Memorable experiences. Money. You need money in your life. You need it. Desire it. Material things. Enjoy it. Master it. I spent 15 years studying before I operated on someone's spine. And I did Ron's surgery about 3 weeks ago. I have a big surgery at Andrews on Monday on someone down here. Mastery. The greats try to master something. And you focus on that. You have a reason to get up every morning to go work on it. The Wright brothers, they try to master it. Keep trying to fly. That mastery, that desire will drive you. Movement. If there's a movement going on, try and join it. Try and join it or start your own movement, right? If every day you say, I want to make progress, I want to have momentum, you can't sit still. So desire comes from this drive from any one of these 7. You don't need all of them, but you need at least one. You have to be fearless. Go sit on the top of a mountain today, Blue Mountain, and look out. You'll get that sense of the expanse. of life. When you're down here on the ground, you know, this song says, you know, I fly like eagle, I don't want to be like chicken, right? Love that. Get higher up and get to see a different perspective. Most of us are afraid that if we actually go out and say we want to do things, we may actually succeed at it. What is our life going to be like? Well, that's fear. You want to succeed. It's better, I promise you. Now, here are the 3 letters. When you decide that you want to do anything, I don't care, you want to go start a patty shop tomorrow, you want to start a fund, whatever you want to do, first you have to do is survive. That's what you want to do. Most things are going to fail, so try and survive first. That's your first hurdle. Most people are thinking about how much money you're going to make. How about trying to survive? The next thing you do, you have to evolve. Anything you say you want to do today, it's not going to be what you end up being rich at. Bill Gates left Harvard to work for someone working on a program called Basics, right? His mom then hooked him up to meet with the CEO at IBM to try and license the program. He found a guy called Kildale in Seattle who had MS-DOS. Tried to get that deal going, it wouldn't work. He actually paid $50,000 for MS-DOS. The rest is history. He didn't do it on his own. He bought MS-DOS, which is the deal he had with IBM. That's what made Microsoft. It's not that he came up with any code. So you have to evolve. You have to be looking for opportunities. And once you get it together, now you got to thrive. That's when you put your foot on the gas. So remember those 3. Anything you start, you have to remember, if you want to get set in life, SET. Leading others will help you be limitless. You're only going to be here for a short time. You cannot be a team of one. You got to help other people. But you first have to lead yourself. You have to lead. I had to get out of Buff Bay, get to Port Antonio and Titchfield, get a Jamaica national team, get a soccer scholarship to Columbia. I had to go through there 5 years there, right? I was president of my senior class. Ivy League cleared a year. I had to work at Accenture 3 years in Manhattan, doing business, learning financial consulting. 6 months at Goldman Sachs. I had to go to Harvard, 10 years there. So you have to lead by example. You have to have delayed gratification. Learn to lead yourself. Then empower others. You don't have to lead them, just empower them. They'll get to their hearts, they'll follow you. And the third is leverage. Leverage. You're going to leverage everything, but leverage your mortality. I'm going to explain what that means. To be limitless, you have to have the freedom to think, and if you think it, do it. But you must have the freedom to change. If you can't change, you're limited. Remember what I said? There were 4 words. Limited if you can't change, right? If you can't lead anyone else further than you have gone yourself. So you got to put the work in. A manager is someone who sits there and tries to get other people to do the work. A leader is out in front. But you have to change, and Darwin explains it best. You don't have to be the smartest. Smartest guy in the room right now is probably David Walker, PhD, Rhodes Scholar. But you need to have the ability to change, because that's what's going to determine your success. Empower others. This is the new time. This country, especially, have to understand that it's about empowering the individual citizen. The changes in this world are not by government. They're not by huge institutions. The Albert Einstein, the Bill Gates, they're all individual. The Steve Jobs, it's a race of individuals. Don't blame the government. They're not supposed to do it for you. You gotta stay hungry. Stay foolish. I tell myself every day, I still eat sardines, baked beans. My mom's at my house right now, it's on the beach. 3-story building, beautiful. 4 cars there, but I still think about Buff Bay. That's one, I'll tell you, you can never afford to not be hungry. You're trying to get to limitless. You leverage your mortality. Anyone in here who is not preparing for this, I'm going to show you that's something that will change your life. You better prepare for this. Leverage your mortality. You only have so much time. You're done with high school, you don't go back there. It's over. You only have that much time. The same with life. Live decade by decade. Most people are living their life like, you know, you can have a vision if you live to be 100, but you need to live every day as if you're going to die tomorrow. But I don't believe in that. If I'm going to die tomorrow, I'm not here giving a speech to you. But by living decade by decade, that's reasonable. That's what I call edging. If I'm going to live decade by decade, I can make some reasonable decisions and actually follow through on them and have enough patience. So my fund, most funds are 10 years. That's a reasonable time. What I did, the secret to my success, and the secret, I think, to everyone's success, is whatever level you're at, be the best there. If you can achieve this, don't worry about the person ahead of you. Just, when you're at that level, be the best. Just be the best at the level. Build your succession plan. I'm going to show you how that works now. And give back. Let's go through this. If you don't remember anything else, I want you to remember this. This is a fun slide for me, because I've been living like this. And when you're a surgeon, you see a lot of death. In fact, my father-in-law just died. I'm supposed to go to a funeral tomorrow, my 3 o'clock flight. Then I'm back here in Jamaica on Sunday. It's been non-stop. I need a private plane. 0 to 10 is your developmental years. 80% of your brain by 5 years old. So with my kids, I'm all about that. That's, if you're lucky enough and you have good people around you, you can get the developmental skills. 10 to 20, I thought I was the best football player in the world. I was also studying my butt off to do my A-levels. You're competing, you're finding yourself. By the time I was 20, I left here at 18 to the US. I had my success equation all laid out. I'm getting to the US, and when I get there, it's sky's the limit. By 20, you better have that success equation down. They don't teach you that in high school, by the way. 20 to 30, the key years. I had to, I was operating with some of the best surgeons in the world at Harvard during this time. Getting mentored, watching what they do. 3 years in Manhattan in business at Accenture. You gotta, you're consulting, going to different companies. Mentored. I have the average age of the employees about 29 in my company. They love this slide because for a lot of them, they thought I should jump around and try to get an extra $5,000 a year. It's not about that. You want to be around people that can mentor you in your 20s. Don't worry about how much you make. Be mentored. When you get in your 30s, you got to be leading now. You need to be in a position to lead. Start your own company. Now you've got mentorship. And when you get into 40, foot on the gas. Accelerate. By the time I was in that part, multi-millionaire. That was my goal, but that's what happens when you're following this. When you're in your 50s, listen, Wendy's are started by, they're entrepreneurs starting at any age. That's not the point. But if you follow this, when you're in your 50, it's now a succession plan. That's what I'm building now. The portfolio companies have, presidents and CEOs and all that. It's not about me. It's now mentorship, succession plan. Who am I teaching to be better? I can do all of that. I don't need to prove it anymore. After 60, you're giving back. If you're still out there trying to make it under your 60, you got it wrong. You could die in a minute. My father-in-law, I think, is 59. He had stomach pain. He was in Houston visiting his granddaughter. Dead in a month. Lung cancer. Fully metastasized. 70 to 80, you better be preparing your exit. Putting everything in order. That doesn't mean you're trying to die, but you need to reconcile with that. You need to start understanding your mortality. It's okay, I promise you. 80 to 90, smell the roses. Every day. What are you going to be trying to do in 80 to 90? Spend time with your grandkids. Enjoy life. Travel. One of my mentors, lived on Palm Beach. He retired at 45, by the way. He would have been a billionaire many, many times over, just because his friends are. He introduced him to them in New York. He was buying real estate in Wall Street. He retired. Lou, every Wednesday said, Kingsley, you stop what you're doing, you have lunch with me. And we would do that. It was 9 to 4. Every day, he had his agenda out, day by day. That's all he was doing, day by day. Went to top restaurants and all that. He forced me every Wednesday, and I learned a lot from him. How I became limitless. Well, Bill Gates said it best. If you don't have money, no one knows about you. You can't do anything. When you have money, don't forget who you are. That's the key. So I don't. How I became limitless. The first thing is desire for financial freedom. I had that. You grow up poor is a gift. You start at the bottom. You can't buy being poor. You can't. You can ask me about it, I'll tell you about it. But it's to me, it's a gift. I'm like, wow, I get to start from the bottom. It's amazing. And I had to gain the knowledge to build a niche. Here's what I describe a niche as. A niche is where things meet, right? In nature, that's where different forces meet. A niche is me taking medicine, engineering, mathematics, being Jamaican, being all these things, and try to put them into that one place where they meet. So there's only one of me. You don't want to compete with everyone else. You want to compete in that right spot, right there, in that niche. Because when you're in that niche, that's where your strength, that's where you evolve, that's where beauty comes from. Don't be afraid of you, because you're already a niche. So here's what I wanted to do. I realized that everyone is talking around healthcare. And healthcare is non-discretionary spending for every country. You can't escape this. And every person in this room, every person on this face of the earth is a patient. You may not need to join Facebook, but you are a patient. And I'm going to bring you into an integrated network. That was my limitless thought. Hospitals. I was fortunate to be at one of the first hospitals in the country, probably rural, in University of Pennsylvania, 4 years there. Also, Mass General at Harvard. I saw how hospitals evolved. They were not meant for elective surgery. They were meant for epidemics. But America is good at driving commerce. So now hospitals have become a profit center. It's not supposed to be. So I saw the opportunity to fix the world's healthcare problem through an integrated system, leveraging technology. That's what we're going to build. The example was staring me in the face. Kaiser Permanente. 1945, a young surgeon, Sidney Garfield, came out of residency and went to work around the aqueduct in LA. And he decided to treat these injured workers. He couldn't afford it. He was broke. He met with an engineer who was also an insurance guy. He says, why don't you have them prepay like a nickel and then treat them? That's how this whole system started. Everyone paid in, and then he managed the care and managed his money. It took off. Henry Kaiser, being a smart guy in Oakland, heard about this guy, looked him up, and said, come work for me in Oakland. That's how Kaiser Permanente started. And so Henry Kaiser got the name, but it was Sidney Garfield. And I'm thinking, if a surgeon could do that in 1945, let me reinvent that, re-engineer that for today. It is the true solution. You need an integrated system in order to solve the healthcare problem. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to build a Less Institute in every city around the world. We're starting in the US. We're going to build that. It's going to be fully integrated point of service. It's also going to be on a digital platform, so the quality is the same. You can access your doctor wherever you are at any time. That's the big idea. Here's how it's going to look. We're going to leverage every kind of platform to advertise our services. We're then going to capture the patient, all the information like LinkedIn does, like Facebook does. You're going to control your EMR system. Once you have all that, we can do algorithmic decision making through software to get you to decide whether you need to be treated face to face or not. This whole system is going to be integrated. Why outpatient? Healthcare delivery is changing. Everyone's a consumer. The US is spending over $2.5 trillion. When you look at who drives healthcare, it's surgeons like myself. We have the power. If you look at the kind of revenues we're talking about, 1 trillion by hospitals in the US, that was not meant to be. That's a lot of money. How much is insurance companies making? Over 650 billion. What's the annual revenues of device companies? I own several of them, 150 billion. There's so much money being made, and the doctor, the surgeon, is not part of it. So I want to take these guys and convert them into entrepreneurs in my system. If you look at a company like NuVasive, one of our competitors, in 2002, 12 million. This year, they're going to do 1 billion. And that's from surgeons doing surgery and using their medical devices. This is the Kaiser Permanente CEO back then who said that. He's a new CEO now. He understood it. Kaiser Permanente has 39 hospitals and growing. But he understood that hospitals are driving up the cost and they're making a lot of money. But that's not the solution. And here's what's happening. Inpatient surgeries are going down. I did Ron's case in the outpatient. So I want doctors to be entrepreneurs because they're not, right? Once they're entrepreneurs, I think they now have vested interest in the system. That's how we're going to solve it. Case study 1. AmSurg has gone around and bought out Sheridan, which is a professional company, has anesthesiologists and other physicians in there. By marrying the physicians to the surgery center, they have a stronger business model. $2.35 billion for that professional service. United Health. Insurance companies realize that, wait a minute, we're insuring, why don't we also control the doctors, control the point of service? They just went out and bought out a chain of outpatient centers. So this has been my vision, but I got to move as much money as I have. I got to do this organically. So here's what I've done since 2005. Organically grew this fund. $190 million was deployed. We basically have revenue generating companies that would take the money and put it back in. And now we're trying to raise $250 million to accelerate what we have. Like I said to you, first survive, evolve, and then thrive. We're ready to thrive. So we understand the market opportunity just like United Healthcare does, just like AmSurg does. And so this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to raise about $250 million. We want to do about 6 deals. That's all we're trying to do. Okay? We are really operators. We learned to run the companies before we became fund managers. And we're trying to sell that. We can take a company and operate it. I have done that, built companies from 1 employee. That was important for me to learn how to do that. And so here's our principles. And if you take a picture of this, apply it to yourself. Because when you leave here and you're going to start your limitless journey, first start with your own money. I was talking to Kurt Dyer over there. He's telling me about his venture. Started with his own money. You have a cash strategy. Manage your cash. You can't afford to run out of cash. Next, be cautious as you move forward. Then get to that neutral place where you're looking around, get your K going. Understanding more. Then you start move forward in a balanced way. And then you start growing. We're now ready to grow. So our portfolio is medium risk. It's a good area to be in. We're going to look at 2 to 5 times. That's what I have to tell all the endowments and pension funds. They don't want to hear 10 times. VC. So I'll quickly end on looking at some of our portfolio company. This is our raise of first millions. I took one of our IP, developed it, sold it to Stryker Corporation. It's their leading revenue generator in spine. Okay. This is our portfolio right now. We have the best portfolio in spine surgery. We're just ready to grow this. Just did a leverage buyout of this company. This is the technology we're going to deploy on Monday here in Jamaica for the first time. We're in Australia, we're in Europe. This is game changer. This is the best technology in spine surgery right now. I acquired this company in a leverage buyout. $85 million was spent by VCs. VCs got tired, they went to the bank, borrowed $5 million, foreclosed on it. My friend called me from San Francisco. He runs a firm, that's all he does. And told me that, hey, I have a deal of a lifetime for you. Here's where it evolved from putting steel balls in the disc to now a true disc replacement. This is the game changer. This is the other game changer right now. Everyone is talking to us because NAVD is the company ahead of us. you're going to have this in your car. This is head-up display, connected cars here. This is important for the aftermarket as well as for the OEM. We own the best technology here. Everyone is calling us on this. We're looking to go to market in the next 3 months. We'll also have an OEM version. This is a building we own on Sampa Road in Florida. We're trying to follow Ray Kroc, and the movie's out, McDonald's. Develop the first prototype, get it working, and then bring all the surgeons in who I want to be entrepreneurs. Every surgeon who visits, I go into their city and I build one for them. That's the idea. This platform is extremely powerful. This is going to change how you interact with your surgeons. We did this study. Over 75% the visits you make to a doctor's office, you didn't need to do it. You could do that online. You could answer the questions yourself. Nutraceuticals is massive. I think Jamaica could make huge stride here with all the natural resources. We're big on nutraceuticals. Health Tech Venture Network is what we're trying to do, is position ourselves as the leader in the health tech space. So 3 years ago, we started our own health tech conference in Boston. This year is our 4th year. Every year we're doubling. Less society. We need a membership platform for advocacy, for getting surgeons a place that they can have a voice politically. That's what we've done. This has been a company that we've been running since 2007. I'll end with a couple cases. Here's an example of what you do. You fuse the spine. Those are our technology there, just 2 screws. It's a huge advance on the field. Normally you use a plate. I don't have to show you. Here you can play around with it. You can have a disc replacement. You can have a fusion device as well. Here's a case I did at Tony Twaits, this 15-year-old girl, major scoliosis. If she had surgery done by anyone else, it's massive up and down the spine. I did it to a different technology, allow you to do it less invasively, changes the game. You're in that niche, change the game. Game changing. So this is a technology we're very bullish on. This changes the entire landscape for how you're going to be treated in spine surgery. You want to have this technology. I own it. No one else can do it but our company. So be limitless, be the movement. That's my message to you. Follow me on Prove Yourself Institute. We have another 5 books coming out. We're trying to start the process of giving back. That's what I'm about. I want to leave you with this slide so you can remember this. If you take this away on your journey, if you don't have the burning desire for success, join Prove Yourself Institute. Thank you very much.